Get off the bus, do all the running in place, cardio and all that stuff. So we had to get through Tuesday, but the nights was pretty good. And it was also rest time. But it was pretty fun after Tuesday, and one of the sermons that stuck out to me was the one on Sunday night. Not Sunday, Wednesday night. It was the title was "Broken but Blessed." It was where you're broken in the world and all that stuff, and Jesus fixes you up the right way so you can be a man or a woman of God. That's the one that touched me, and all the games we played was pretty fun, especially dodgeball. And so yeah, that was pretty fun. And if you haven't been to Bootcamp or you haven't won this year, you should go next year. It's really fun after Tuesday.
All right, Woo! Come on, Gabby! All right, Gabby.
My name is Gabby, for those who don't know me. It's my second year.
I know you.
It was really tiring the first couple days, or like the whole week was tiring for me. And but the preaching was refreshing, and the DIs was talking to me. It was really encouraging. But one thing that stuck out to me was when our DI pulled my platoon over, and he had a cicada in one hand, and he had its shedded skin in the other hand. And he said the cicada represents our new born again life, and the shedded skin is our old life. And if we surrender back to our old life, it's like putting the shedded skin back on. But if we stay born again, we keep our new life. And after that, we went back to practicing drilling, and then he came up to us again, and he told us he found ants, because we let it live, and he said he found ants like attacking it, and he saved its life. It's like whenever we leave boot camp, the devil's gonna attack us again, and like if we surrender back to our old life because the devil's attacking us, or like we're tempted, then that's the shedded skin. But if we persevere and believe in God, then he will take those ants off of us, and he will help us. So if you want to learn something new or enjoy this experience, or not enjoy it because it's exercising, but if you want to try it out, and if you're old enough, then I encourage you to go.
Yeah.
My name is Luke, and it's my first year of boot camp. And one of the sermons that really stuck out to me was like, the pastor said that if your church was functioning at your level, how would it be like? And it really made me start thinking, do I really pray every day like I should be? And
You got this, Luke. Come on. Good.
I like most of the activities are there and stuff.
Olivier!
My name is Olivia, and this is my first year at boot camp.
Put the mic closer.
Well, when I was there, right away I was really touched by God, because on Tuesday night, the sermon was about making a choice on what path you wanted to end up on, and if you go to heaven or hell, that's up to you, and you put yourself there. And that sermon reminded me of a word I had gotten, and like chose to ignore that word. And then going to boot camp and hearing that word again, I just knew it was a sign of God. So I raised my hand that night, and the whole week I was really happy because I thought I was gonna cry as soon as I got there, just looking at the DIs. But I didn't cry at all, and I was like I'm on a roll, like I haven't cried until Friday when the fifth DI that pulled me over that week pulled me over in a chow line, And I was good during the whole talk we had, and then she started bringing up my family, and then she asked if my mom and dad was saved and go to church, and I said yes. And then she asked about, she asked how many siblings I had, and I said I have one sister and 2 brothers, but one of my brothers don't go to church, but I really don't have a memory of him going to church, so it, I wasn't that too emotional about that. And then she asked about my sister, and I said that my sister goes to church, and I believe she's saved, but obviously that's between her and God if she truly is. But personally, yes, I think she's saved. And then she asked about my brother, and I said the same thing. And then she said, so I guess she just decided to pick on my brother. And she asked his name. I said his name is Ethan. And she said that, where would your brother be if he wasn't saved? And I said, well, anyone who isn't saved is of the world. And she said, well, if he died, where would he be? And I said, sorry.
Come on in.
I said my brother would go to hell. And she was like, who would he go with? I said, no one. She said, who would? I said, he wouldn't be there with my mom, my dad, my sister, his wife, his daughter. If he wasn't saved, he would go to hell all alone. And then she asked why I was crying. And I said, because he's my brother. I care about him. And she asked, and then she told me, see how you're crying right now over your brother going to hell. And I said yes. And she was like, that's how God feels every single time you take a step in the wrong path, or when you chose to ignore that word. And I never thought about it that way, putting my emotions with the way God felt. And it kind of just opened my mind to see the whole new way. So I am glad I went to boot camp, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have experienced that and really thought about it in that way. And so I really want to say that what the DI told me, because now my brother knows I cry over him. But it is the most impactful thing that happened. So if you hadn't gone, I would encourage you to, because you never know what special talk you can have that'll me open your eyes and make you see being saved in a whole new light. So,
Right.
Hi, my name is Mia. I'm pretty sure all of you know that. So this was my 4th year at boot camp, and I've been there a few times, so I know the drill. I did. The first day it was actually really windy, so I was like, maybe this year will be easy. It was not easy. The first day was the only windy day. The rest were hot, and I thought I was going to die. But the sermon that Jeremiah was talking about, the pastor had said, God needs to break you so that he can rebuild you in the right way. And I mean, what better place can you be broken than boot camp, where they're screaming at you, making you push ups in 100-degree weather. And I know a lot of you who choose not to go to boot camp may think that it's just a workout camp, you're just being miserable there the whole time, and that it doesn't actually do anything for you. But there's actually this Jehovah's Witness in my platoon, and his dad was Jehovah's Witness, and he lived with his dad, but his mom was a Christian, and she forced him to go. And he came in being I don't want to be here, But one day, I think it was the second day, my DI made him share his testimony with all of us in front of everyone, and he said Jesus is God, and like that he believes that now. And his testimony wasn't exactly right, because he said if you give your life to Jesus, your life will be easy. But his heart was there. But like, if the Jehovah's Witness can go there and get converted in one day, like that's just a testimony of how God can work in your life. And for me personally, it was the second time my DA had pulled me to the side. She was just like asking me questions, and then out of the blue, she started telling me this story about how she went to go witness to this girl, and she pointed to her ear and was like, I can't hear you. She was deaf. And my DI said she just felt so bad because like she wanted to spread the gospel with this girl, but she couldn't because she didn't speak her language. So she studied sign language and she learned their language, and then she went and started preaching to these kids in sign language so that she could spread the gospel to them. And she ended up becoming an interpreter for her church. And I was like, I've actually been taking sign language for 3 years. And she goes, that's such a crazy coincidence. It's obviously not a coincidence, but she was like, because I haven't told anyone else that story here. So what a coincidence that you're the first person I tell this story to, and you know sign language. So when you go there, God gets personal with you, and He knows you. And I know a lot of people, like this girl in my platoon, she would ask, like, how do the guys know what to say to you? It's not like they're not reading off of a paper of like what your parents tell them. Like God is speaking to them and telling them about you. So if you need to go, like, to build your relationship with God, because I know you can think you're all right, but going to boot camp, it brings out things that you didn't even know you were doing wrong sometimes. So if you can go, then go.
Amen.
Hi, my name's Elena. This year was my first year. I kind of knew what to expect because I had like 2 brothers going. But basically, sorry, my mind went blank. Yeah, okay, so it was my first year, and I was just trying to mind my own business. Like, everywhere I went, I was just like trying to mind my own business, pay attention to the sermons, and make new friends. But even when I was paying attention to the sermons, the only one that like really spoke to me was on Thursday night with Pastor Tony Wayne. And he talked about like how you need God to let you on fire so that He can like let you burn and like do what He wants you to do. And I guess now that made me want to be more open to like street preaching outreach and like the sermons and all that. And definitely like the testimonies on Thursday night. Like some of them did make me tear up a little bit, but yeah, because they like were talking about their testimonies and like how they were a church kid and then they left church and came back. So like they backslid, came back. But like in my mind, I didn't want that to be my testimony. Like I wanted my testimony to be like me. Like I stayed in church all my life and then it backslid, and to grow up in church and all that. So yeah, Tuesday was pretty hard. Yeah. After that, though, it was pretty fun. Me and my platoon, I made a lot of friends, and I did do the zip line. It was really fun. If you like riots, you need to do the zip line because it's like fun. And we didn't win anything, but I think I learned a lot there. I think I learned a lot more about our church and what we do and all that. And so God really did help me and all that stuff. So yeah, if you haven't gone, you're of age to go, you should go.
Amen.
Hi, my name is Navera for those who don't know me. This is my second year going, and not by choice really, but it was just a good thing too. Because I went there with the mindset I'm just gonna go there, I already know, and I'll just get this over with. I say last year was harder than this year, and so what I got from out of here, they said this week was about not surrendering, and insecurities, how girls deal with it. With me, I did have that, but it's more oh yeah, I hate myself, but it's whatever. I hate how I looked, but I didn't dwell on it, because what I've been struggling was feeling emotionally numb, which I brought myself there so I would stop getting hurt. a lot. So 3 DIs talked to me. That's like crazy. And they knew nothing of me, and I was just gonna go there, like, if they talk to me, I'm just like not gonna say anything. I was just gonna be like, why is he here busy? You know? But my female DI, she talked to me, and she really got a hold of me. Like, I ended up crying. Like, before that, any song service, I would tear up, but like, I was like, wait, why am I crying? This is weird. Like, I don't cry for that. Like, I stopped. And so I ended up like bawling my eyes out to her, and she was like, she said something like, when you get married, because she asked me if I wanted to get married, and I said no, because I can't see myself putting my full heart to that person, because I can't do that to God already enough, because it was hard for me. So she said, she's been married for like 7 years, and it took 15 years for her to give her heart out to her husband. And she said, like, you need to like break down that wall and feel the emotions, because she's like, at first it's gonna feel like crazy and all over, and you want to close it again, but you're gonna have to open it. And I told her, like, I did that, and like I lost my heart for people. Like, I used to care for a lot of people, but it came to a point where I lost it completely. Like, I didn't care at all. And so she said, like, I need to open that up and love myself. And I told her, like, how can I do that if my real dad, like my biological dad, don't love me? See, and I do have a stepdad, and he's the best dad I have in the world. I love him, like, to death. But like, it still hurts when your real blood father doesn't love you like he was supposed to. So I would try to help my sister for not feel that, but like, she still gets hurt. But like, I just can't have her get hurt like that. But like, one thing that goes to my head, like, why can't he love us like he's supposed to? Like, why does he have to have girls in front of him and distract him, and whenever he doesn't, he comes to us? Like, why? Like, is it really that hard to be a dad for once in your life? So like, that got to me, just like I had daddy issues kind of. Then I went, like, they said, like, to love your parents, stuff like that. And guarantee that I put my dad and my mom through a lot. And because of my selfish reasons, but like, that's everyone. And I felt bad. So now that I came back, I'm trying to work on it, trying to work on being emotionally numb and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard, but I know I got this. But for those who haven't went there and is of age, I suggest you should go. God will do a miracle.
Hi, my name is Michaela. This was my 2nd year of Bootcamp. I just want to say, last year I went and I got saved, and I told myself that I wasn't going to come back here trying to get saved again. I was like, I'm going to come back being saved for a year.
Amen.
And then I went and I was saved for a year.
Praise God.
And so that already was like super encouraging to me, because it's like God heard that and he helped me through that. And like, I even look back and I was like, I've been saved for a whole year? Because I remember like looking at it, I'm like, that's so far, like I don't think I'm gonna make it. But it just flew by, like I didn't even notice. So that already was really encouraging. And so I was, asking God to speak to me. And I'm like the opposite. Like, some people don't want to be talked to, but like when I'm in the line, I like purposely try to look at them or like do things that they don't want me to do, so they'll call me out and they can speak to me, because I really wanted to be spoken to. So I would be like in the line, and they would yell at someone like from behind me, like, don't look at me, and then I would be like this, like trying to look at them, and then they would be like, Boot, come here, why are you looking at me? And I was like, I don't know. Like, the real reason was because I wanted you to speak to me, but I don't want to say that because then I didn't know what they're going to say to me. But it's like, when you get there, like, everybody is an evangelist. It's so weird, because like, it's like a whole revival in Bootcamp. And I remember getting spoken to, like, I just wanted to be spoken to once, and then I kept getting spoken to, and I was like, no, I'm not looking at you anymore, don't do anything. But God definitely, this week, because I got saved last year, this week it just kind of helped me grow a lot, and he pointed some things out to me. A lot of it is kind of personal, so I'm not going to go into it, but he kind of turned me around, he was kind of like, no, you got to go back, you got to fix that, and then we can go on. And I was ignoring that for a while, but he made it very clear, and it's just like, he loves me so much that he's going to take that time to really point that out to me, because he wants to make sure that I'm on the right path with it. and it was really good. I love Bootcamp. My platoon was the one that got thrashed really hard for a good 15 minutes, and I guess they were like trying to make us an example because some people were getting lazy, and my platoon sergeant had to be the one that was messing up. I wanted to jump him. I was like, let's jump him tonight, guys. Like, I was so upset. But it was very overwhelming. But at the end, my platoon sergeant said, sometimes things are gonna happen to you in life that you're not gonna know where it's coming from. You're not gonna know why is it happening to me. But it happened, and you gotta trust in God, and you just gotta move forward, and you gotta fight. You really gotta fight, because the devil, he loves attacking you. I've only been saved for a year, and I feel like I went through hell and back in just a year because of how much he likes to attack you. But it's really not. It's if you just press on and just focus on God, it's not hard to keep. I mean, take it from me. I am 15. I got saved at 14, and I went straight for a year, and I didn't look back. That can happen for you. Just keep going. I really encourage you, go to boot camp, because it will change your life.
Amen.
Yeah. All right, Jacob.
Hi, my name is Jacob. Alright. Hi, my name is Jacob, and I've been saved for 9 months, and I went to boot camp, and it was crazy when I was there, but God moved in my life while I was there, and I learned discipline, and the sermon that stood out to me was a sermon called Angry Birds, and it's where everybody gets angry in different ways. Like, girls get angry in different ways and boys get angry in different ways, but hold on. So if you're 10 or 11 or maybe 12 and you don't want to go, or you do want to go, then just go. It's really cool. It's not that bad. You play games. Paintball was my favorite, and I got hit in the neck. It hurt. But it's your choice if you want to go, because God gives you a free will.
Yep.
And I will be going next year. I'm gonna be going for all 5 years, and yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
So my name is Isaiah.
They trying to sound like Quincy.
My third year going. I chose to go this time. At the beginning of the year, I think my mom was trying to force me to go, but I chose to go. She gave me the choice finally, and so I think I went by myself. And so I had a lot of fun, you know. This is my favorite platoon by far. There was an Australian DI, he was mean. I got dropped this year more than usual. I don't know, I was smiling a lot, so you know, that's a good indicator I was having fun. But I think there was a lot of first years, and I think that touched me personally, because it showed how many, or I saw a lot of kids get saved, and I felt that was a good thing. It showed that we're going in the right direction, and having kids get saved, and they're going to be the new leaders for the church, and they're going to be the future. And so it felt nice to see. I think there was a lot of good testimonies on how God touched a lot of people, and that also touched me. I really like seeing people just be able to get saved and truly change their lives because of boot camp, and I think that's the best thing. Like I said, I had fun. Probably gonna be going again next year, and if you don't want to go to boot camp, I think you should. You really do get a lot out of it, and yeah, it's really.
Kelty. For those of you that don't know me, this is my second year going to boot camp. My last year was 3 years ago. And I went there, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be easy. As soon as I saw them DIs, I said, oh, here we go again. I got on the bus and the Australian DI came up to me and he said, "Oi, baby." He's like, "Why are you sweating while you and your mates say no?" and then he dropped me. I'm like, "Come on." He dropped me, and I was like, "Yeah." So it was the physical was pretty easy. But the mud in my hair, I didn't like it. I was picking it out during service. But two things that stood out to me is one, D.I. Gordon. He came up to my platoon. And he's not in my platoon, so I knew, first I knew off the rip that this is God. And he pulled aside, like, he separated us if you have two parents in church, and like if you have one parent, or and he was talking to us, and he said, he pulled aside two girls, and he said, "Do you love your parents?" And she said, yes, sir. And he said, do you respect your parents? And she said, yes, sir. And then he said, no, listen to me. Do you respect your parents? And she said, no, sir. And he said, you have two parents in church, and she only had, the other girl only has one, and you treat your parents like dirt. And that stood out to me because, like, I'm not always respectful to my parents, and it just, that hurt me because I realized that, I got two loving parents in church, and they want the best for me. And so I just want to say I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. The second thing that stood out to me, there was a kid. I was yelling at him. I was all mad at him. Gonna get in a fight, And Pastor Will ended up pulling me aside and was talking to me, and just God was speaking to him, even like just other stuff besides anger. And he was talking to me and telling me his testimony. And God was using him to speak to me. And the next morning, there was two sermons. One was Angry Birds, and the second one was Rage. and at the altar call, I lifted my hand because I like that sermon, like on Rage. It spoke to me because it, I had that internally, and I dealt with it at that altar. And
Amen.
It's one of the best things I've ever done. And I just want to encourage you, if you don't want to go to boot camp, or you haven't been to boot camp, go, or your parents gonna make you. Either way. So yeah.
I want to make this quick because I can be long-winded sometimes. So sorry about my voice. So this is my 5th year. My name's Keone, by the way. This is my 4th year going to boot camp, not 5th. And I've been spoken to every single year about different things. Last year was the year that God called me to preach, and this year I felt was a little bit different because we were living in Louisiana, and we recently moved back. Probably last year around June, July, and when we got back, God immediately started speaking to me about being a leader, and that's one of the biggest things that I have struggled with recently in this past couple months since I've been back. I really don't like, or I didn't like being in the leadership role. I didn't like being a leader. I don't like being, not necessarily in charge of people, but I don't like being responsible of people. I don't like being held accountable for people. I like to follow. I like to be told what to do. But and I've been put in some leadership roles recently, and it's been kind of a hit and miss. I've been doing it just kind of because I don't want to disappoint, but I never really stepped into that leadership role. And then when I went to boot camp this year, immediately God started speaking to me, because one of the first things Diallo Valley said was, he said a lot of people think that boot camp is where bad kids go, and he said it's not. He said boot camp is a leadership camp. It's where teenagers go to learn how to be leaders, to learn how to mentor people, and to build leaders in our fellowship. Because he said that people need to rise up and they need to take leadership roles. And D.I. Puglisi was talking to me about leadership. He made me platoon sergeant of the platoon, and I struggled with that in the beginning because, like I said, I don't like being in that leadership role. But through this whole boot camp, God spoke to me that I need to rise up into the leadership role, whether I like it or not, because that's what He's called me to do. One of the sermons that stuck out to me was one of the sermons on Friday that Pastor Rob Walsh from Australia, he preached, and what he was talking about was how we need to be we need to step into leadership roles, and we need to take up the mantle, because a lot of the older people in our fellowship are getting old, and we need to take over. So just to sum it up. But anyway, just to sum it up, God really spoke to me to step up into that leadership role, even if I don't want to, because that's what He wants me to do, and that's what He called me to do. So one thing I have to say is, if God's calling you to do something, I've learned multiple times, don't disobey Him, don't ignore the calling, accept it, because He's going to do something big in your life. And if you haven't gone to boot camp or you're scared or whatever, don't be scared, man. Just go, because God's going to move in your life, and that's what you need. So, thank you.